Asking a lot from the brakes on the steep downhill. They're up to snuff. PTM lets you play, but keeps you out of trouble. Minimally invasive. Hey crew, I've got the key to that 23 Cadillac CT4V Blackwing. We are going to take it for a drive, but first, let's check out how it looks on the inside and outside. Up front, the Ford Blackwing has meshing for the grille and front air dam with gloss black surrounds. There are LED projector headlights with the DRLs and turn signals vertically on the side. There's functional cooling for the heat exchangers here. Gloss black for the front splitter pieces that you can get in carbon fiber as an extended lip. This paint color is called Electric Blue, and you should know how much I love it because I'm getting my CT5V Blackwing in the same hue. There are two-tone polished alloy 18-inch wheels wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, 255 section front, 275s in the rear. Within those wheels are blue painted Brembo brakes. You can get the calipers in a couple different colors, and they always match the key fob. Functional air curtain behind the front tires, V badge, extended black lip side sill, black gloss for the window trim. Stepping back to look at the profile, we can see though those cab rearward rear drive emphasizing proportions. Looks great. The wheel designs, not so much to me. You can choose two other styles though. At the back are vertical LED taillights and turn signals. There's a big black lip spoiler that you can have in carbon fiber as an option. The diffuser that's here, gloss black, you can also have in carbon fiber, and there are 4 exhaust outlets. The rear view of the Ford Blackwing is the only one I don't love because the taillights look too far apart with not much in between them. Otherwise, the Ford Blackwing looks spicy. Do you think it looks better or worse than an M3 though? Let me know in the comments, and let's check out that interior. Opening up and looking inside at this natural tan on black colored interior with leather seating surfaces, V badges on the seat backs, diamond quilting and perforations, red and white contrast stitching and piping. Here on the doors, it's leatherette up top, and here on the padded armrest, suede for the inserts, hard plastics down low, one touch down, not up windows. Stepping in, watch your head taller, folks. Behind my own seat at 6 feet tall, I've got just enough knee room behind these extra bucketed seats with pass-throughs for your racing harness and suede wrapping. The foot pockets are decent to slide my feet under, and the thigh support is acceptable. Headroom, not so much. Head is pressed against the roof when I'm sitting upright, and I can't even make it to that headrest back there, so it's gonna be one of these from me. There are 2 air vents, just a DC outlet, no USB ports at all. The drive shaft dump is large, and the seat in the middle is raised up, so I can't fit it all. I wouldn't even necessarily put a kid back here, just 2 smaller adults. There is an armrest that comes down with padding and 2 cup holders. The back seats of the 4V Blackwing leave me wanting of features and space. Let's check out the front. Door close noise. That's a mostly good thud. You get smart keyless entry for the rear and front doors. These attractive looking front sport bucket seats are heated and ventilated with 2-position memory and lumbar. There are aluminum tread plates and V badges, aluminum accented foot pedals. To open the trunk, press this button, but it does not send it up at all, it just releases it. Inside we find a smallish 11 cubic feet of space. You can expand that by 60-40 split folding the rear seats, but you gotta release them from the back seats. There's a built-in handle to close up the trunk lid. AKG 15 speaker sound system is standard. The front 2 windows are one touch up down. Power adjusting but not power folding door mirrors. In the driver's seat, close up the door and you get a neat welcome animation on the gauge cluster and infotainment screen. Drivers get this leather-wrapped steering wheel with a center marker and gloss carbon fiber down low. The thickness and diameter of the wheel are just right for me. Big aluminum paddles on the back have nice travel. V button here, traction control, and adjustments for that gauge cluster. Head-up display is an option. Stitched leatherette is up on the dashboard. The 8-inch touchscreen infotainment housing looks a bit tacked on, but the screen itself is very responsive and it has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Below the screen is a home button, HVAC controls, and a wireless smartphone charging pad. We have the optional 10-speed auto, and the gear selector for that doesn't look or feel very high-end. Neither do the volume knob or dial to control the infotainment, but I am glad to see these two things here. The gloss carbon fiber around the cup holders looks snazzy. Contrast stitching and leather padding for the console, and inside we've got pretty decent storage for this size of vehicle, plus one USB-A and C port and a DC outlet. The suede wrapped headliner feels excellent. Without the sunroof, we also have lots of headroom for me to maybe put on a helmet for track duty, just not today. Visibility is just kind of okay because of that thicker C-pillar, but there is standard blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic. I dig the sporty touches in this cabin, like the seats and steering wheel, plus the responsiveness of the infotainment system. I just want more rear passenger room and features. Let's take the CT4V Blackwing for a drive now. All right, let's fire it up. Not bad. Hearty, healthy noise from the V6 on startup before those chimes take over. Our drive modes are selected here. And I want to begin in Tour. See, the gauge cluster wants to change with each mode, but it's not so quick, so it's got some delay there. Here, the drive configurations show that everything is in the softest setting except for the engine responsiveness and the engine noise. That's up just one level. To go into reverse, we click in on the left and press forward. Brings up a high-resolution backup camera, just a backup camera, no bird's eye view. We do have trajectory lines. And it's a fairly fish-eyed view. So you can see around some of the cars that might be parked next to you. We'll begin with a turning radius test. Fully cranked. It's a good turning radius. Not remarkable for something this small, though. Let's listen to that turn signal, which sounds to me like a light knocking on the door. I don't mind it. And now for the world-famous horn test. Sounds like an American horn. Just a little in your face. Powertrain. In the 23 Cadillac CT4V Blackwing. It is a twin turbocharged 3.6 liter V6. It produces 472 horsepower and 445 pound-feet of torque. That's a whopping 8 more horses than its predecessor, the ATS-V, and the same pound-feet of torque. It's routed through your choice of a 6-speed manual as standard or this $2,300 10-speed automatic gearbox. The 10-speed is probably not the gearbox I would choose, but the shifts are smooth. You don't even notice them. And it mates well to this powertrain. The brake pedal is easy to modulate. You can come up to a stop smoothly. The throttle getting out of the hole is also not too touchy. Ride quality from these adaptive dampers, the magnetic ride control, is stellar. Yes, you move over and about on bumps, but you do not feel harsh impacts. And these seats hold me well in place without squeezing the life out of me. and the shape is comfortable. The padding is supportive. That rides great around town. Now in Tour, the suspension is as softly dampened as possible, but there is a way to customize the throttle response and the engine note to be even more mild. That's in my mode, you can do that. And so let's listen in and feel that difference. Please don't walk into the road. Oh, you hear just almost nothing from that V6 now. He doesn't kill the throttle response, I'm pleased to report. It just relaxes it even more. This is now an even mellower cruiser. This is showing off the luxury side of the CT4V Blackwing. The cabin stays well insulated as the speeds build. We hear a bit more wind noise, but the tire noise from these Michelins, not really an issue. Road noise also kept low. But at any point in time, you could remind yourself or anyone who happens to be with you that you are driving a 472 horsepower sports sedan. Just hit this V button, which you can also customize, as I've done so here, and make things fun. The rumbling overrun from that exhaust. A little snap on the upshift too. The Titan suspension, the added steering heft. And the throatiness from that V6. Now I'm feeling alive. But these are just the appetizers. Let's take the Blackwing somewhere more accustomed to what it really wants to do, which is to go fast. This car yearns for speed. In V mode, in auto mode, when you put your foot down, the downshift isn't as quick as a dual clutch setup where it's just primed for it, where it's ready for it. Little hesitation there, but there's no hesitation from the motor. The turbos feel just forever spooled from like 3,500 RPM on. They're raring to go. The crack of the upshift is so satisfying. And if we try out manual mode by pulling back on the gear selector, I do love the travel and action of pulling these paddles. Take it all the way out to red line. The shifts just have that little sluggishness that you wouldn't have with a dual clutch. Yes, I realize it's still quicker than a manual. And I know you'd set faster lap times with this gearbox. But because we have the option, I still want the 6-speed. At least there's launch control. To experience that, I've got my race box set up here, and yes, I know there's a 0 to 60 timer built into the vehicle. We're not going to use that today. I need to activate the performance traction management system before launch. You don't have to take it all the way up into race 1 or race 2. You can go to sport or dry. We'll do sport. Then for launch, hold your foot hard on the brake, pin the throttle. It holds revs below 2,000. And in 4.5 seconds, we've gotten to 60. I've done that before and got 4.3, but that's as good as I could do in a real world-ish environment. Independent tests have seen 3.9 seconds to 60. Because the Blackwing is rear-wheel drive, it can't hold the revs any higher than it did, or it would just roast those rear tires. So that's why the 0 to 60 isn't as quick as competitors like the BMW M3 xDrive, because that vehicle has 4 driven wheels to get a quicker launch out of the hole. Thankfully, for the Blackwing, the 0 to 60 is not its pièce de résistance, it's the handling. So with PTM left in sport and V mode still engaged, let's unleash the Blackwing on some super twisties. Oh, good heavens. It really is an unleashing. It's like I've held a cage animal until now. Incredible bite from those brakes. The turn-in and composure is magnificent. Oh my gosh. What a machine. Asking a lot from the brakes on the steep downhill. They're up to snuff. PTM lets you play but keeps you out of trouble. Minimally invasive. Oh my goodness. This car has just been completely transformed. It's such a corner carver. It tucks beautifully into each curve. The steering weight is ideal. It doesn't get unsettled over crests. The suspension is that good. The limited slip differential in the rear can put the power down. My mouth has just been open for the last 10 seconds. Cadillac got so many things right with this car. The platform, the steering, the braking, the traction control system, the engine. They all fit together perfectly like a puzzle that just makes this beautiful picture of performance. Love that alliteration. That was good. Good job, Miles. It's just true. I mean, the only thing that feels out of place here is the tuning of this 10-speed. It's not aggressive enough. But there is a remedy for that. And it's called getting the 6-speed manual. Cadillac offers it. It's the one the enthusiast should choose to make the experience completely, fully immersive. That is the difference. That's the only thing dynamically this car needs. And it has it as an option. Actually, it's standard. It's standard. This is the option you shouldn't choose. I think at this point, we can assign a miles per hour word of the day to the CT4V Blackwing. And that word is lathe, meaning limber or flexible. And I'm not just talking about how this car gets around a set of curves. I also mean the flexibility of, on one hand, being just sensational as a performance sedan, and then on the other, being so comfortable and amenable to daily driving or commuting. It's a luxury product. It feels like that. And then you hit a button and you turn a dial, and it's very much not that. It is very much the aggressive machine that's bonded to you as the driver. That's lathe. That's flexibility, baby. Now, what's all that flexibility going to cost you? The starting figure for the CT4V Blackwing is just under $62,000. This one, as tested, is $74,000. If it were me, I'd just choose two options. I'd get the paint, and I'd get these bucketed sports seats. Then we're looking at 66, just for reference. A couple things I didn't share yet with you before we jump into competition. The fuel economy isn't amazing. It's 16 mpg city, 24 on the highway, and 19 combined. The top speed is eye-watering at 189 miles per hour. Vehicles you would consider, and this is interesting because the size of the CT4V Blackwing is actually a bit smaller than the vehicles that would be priced next to it. We have the BMW M340i. If you go with the rear drive version of that, you're looking at about $58,000. It makes 382 horsepower. It gets to 60 in 4.2 seconds, and the fuel economy is 26 combined. If you had a little more money to spend, you could have the M3. The rear drive version of that is just under $74,000. It makes 473 horsepower, one more horsepower than this, gets to 60 in 3.8 seconds, a tenth of a second quicker than this, and the fuel economy is the same at 19 combined. Now, if you're thinking 3 Series, you are going to have more rear passenger room, and that's a big asset. I find that the CT4V Blackwing is much better to drive than the M340i, which is already a stellar sports sedan, and that should tell you how good this is. And it's even, wild as it is to say, it's even a little more rewarding than the M3, which you can also choose with the manual. Another one you might consider, the Mercedes-AMG C43. The new one starts at about $61,000. It makes 402 horsepower, it gets to 60 in 4.0 seconds with its all-wheel drive system, and the fuel economy is 22 combined. Now, before I reach a verdict on which one I would choose, I gotta reiterate the things about this vehicle I don't love. For one, the rear end view, it's just awkward to me. I don't know why exactly, but something about it doesn't sit well. The rear passenger room, not enough. For taller adults, headroom and legroom is going to be compromised. Where are the USB ports back there? And why are there so many obvious hard plastics in places? If you're stuck at the 60,000 or under territory, do not be upset that you can only get the M340i. It's a fantastic sedan. I just drove it recently, was so happy to be reacquainted with that vehicle. It's so good. If you do have a little bit more money to spend though, go with the CT4V Blackwing. If you can put up with the tighter rear quarters, it's incredible to drive. It's so good. And I could build it out for $66,000 and be more than happy with what I'm getting for that money. Or you could just do what I did and blow the complete budget and get a CT5V Blackwing and not deal with the rear end view issues or the rear passenger space issues. Just, way too much money. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this POV drive review. If you did, please like, comment, and share the video. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell to get notified. And I'll see you next time.